Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Smart Trips Live. I'm your host today, Lonnie Stern from Cat Metro, and our guest today is Dana Younger, who is here with Blue Genie Art Bazaar, which is a great event, and we're excited to let you learn more about that today. So welcome to the show, Dana.
Hey, thanks, Lonnie. I'm super excited to be here, and I really appreciate you having us.
Well, we're excited to have you too. I have to say, the Blue Genie captivates my imagination, and it's something that I've been following since you were in just a little warehouse across the railroad tracks on some dingy side of town, and to see you really grow into an operation, and then move to a different part of town, and now be part of the annual holiday celebration has been just a pleasure to watch on the side. And so, I'm sorry I can't bring a whole group of people there this year, but we thought we'd bring them virtually to experience this space with you. But before we get into all of that, first, who are you? How did you wind up being in charge of Blue Genie Art Bazaar? How did this happen?
Oh, well, not really in charge, but I have three partners. So there are four of us, and we have an excellent, super excellent director of the show, Lonnie Gonzalez. And so we really are a team, and we collaborate all the time to make what we do happen. So I'm the one with the theater degree. So I am the one who usually gets chosen to talk to people, and I enjoy it. I love to talk about the show. I'm super proud of what we do. Yeah, I have a theater background. I did theater in Austin for a long, long time, starting way back when I was about 12, and I went through theater at the University of Texas, and at some point I became interested in visual art, and mold making and casting, and just kind of follow my nose to fun things, and teamed up with Kevin Collins and Rory Skagen and Chris Coakley, and together the four of us ran Blue Genie Art Industries for a lot of years. And during that time, we liked to do things. We like fun, and we're really in this for fun. So we decided to have a holiday show, and we invited some of our friends, including Sodalitas. I think they were in our first show, which is Shay and Jana and Joe, who later became Big Medium. And we put some things on the wall, and we were totally shocked when we sold things. We were like, oh my gosh, we sold something. What do we do? And we got out our little notebook, and we started writing down, and I'm certain that Kevin still has that notebook, writing down the things that we sold. And so when it ended, we were like, wow, that was fun. Like, we had a good time, and we should do it again. And so we did it again, and we did it again and again and again. I don't know, I really believe that that's how things happen, right? Is you just put one foot in front of the other, and you deal with whatever adversity shows up, and you rise to the occasion, and you stick true to your values, and good things happen.
Well, it's been fun watching the metamorphosis, because I remember some of the derby races that were held out in that dirt lot, even some of the graffiti, nighttime events that were over there. And yet, I mean, you did start doing installation art, right? Like, I think of murals and signs and big, kind of statues that would go on the top of a building. Do you still do that work? And then how did this morph from one to the other?
Yeah, so that was the original business, is Blue Genie Art Industries, and that business still exists very robustly, and is doing all kinds of cool things in Austin and beyond in the large scale visual art realm. So about 12 years ago, myself and Rory Skagen, we let go of our portion of that business, the fabrication business. I am the exhibits manager for Texas Parks and Wildlife, and I love that job. That is my day job. But we all four stayed invested in the Blue Genie Art Bazaar. And continued to work together to grow that business. And so now, even though they bear the same first part of the name, they really are separate businesses with different different goals. So yeah, it just happened organically. We had all kinds of art shows. We had spring shows and we had Halloween shows and we graffiti shows and we did all kinds of things. And usually we would get to the end of those and go like, wow, okay, that cost us a lot of time and money, and it was super fun, but I don't see how we could ever do that again. But not so with the Art Bazaar. It really stuck, and we're just super honored to have become a tradition. I think Austin is really a town of tradition. It's a town of many things, honestly. It is a town that ever since I was a young person recognized that it's very supportive of art and artists. And gosh, we are just so grateful to have built this in a town that has so much support, financial and otherwise, for art and artists. It's a remarkable place to be.
I definitely do see Austin as a town of tradition. It was, in fact, one of the reasons that it appealed to me after college when I was looking for a place, that there were so many, blank annual blah, 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 blah. And in most of the country, unless you're really in the city center, there's this disconnection from your neighbors. Maybe you even live behind a gate, or you're not allowed to express yourself in your front yard, let alone your backyard. And so that was really appealing to me. And then it's funny because in Austin, it seems like if something goes on for 10 years or more, then it's fast becoming a tradition.
It's a tradition.
So you've reached that status. And I think something that was appealing with Blue Genie, if I don't know if it's okay to say this, but it feels like a melding of what the East Austin Studio Tour serves and what the Armadillo Christmas Bazaar serves, and yet is somehow more accessible than both of those. And I was wondering how you created the format and who you're trying to serve, and perhaps why you think this is unique to some of these other events that happen at this time.
Yeah, so a long time ago, Kevin and I used to make gargoyles. And we made our gargoyles and we sold them at the Renaissance Market on the drag. And, we would have to be out there at 7 every morning when the bell tower rang, standing in the spot that we wanted to put our table in to sell for the day. And that was how we made our coins to rub together and pay for our rent and our food. And we at one point, we were just like, this is awful. I don't want to stand here and sell my stuff anymore. And so when we decided to have the Art Bazaar, it started more as an art show, right? It was like, oh, it's an art show. You just put the things on the wall and people come and maybe they have a glass of wine and that's it.
Bring some stickers.
Yeah, exactly. Put some stickers up. And as it grew and morphed into art and gifts and more smaller items, we said, like, gosh, we don't want to ask artists to stand here and sell their work. And we also don't want to ask our customers to have to engage an artist, hungry or otherwise, every time they want to buy something. Like, we want this to be an easy, hassle-free, like, simple environment where they can come in and they can love and laugh and point at things and pick them up and show them to their friends and go like, isn't this lovely? Or isn't this hilarious or whatever without feeling inspected by the person who made that thing. And so that was kind of how we arrived at this format.
It's
And
definitely been helpful. I mean, we go to holiday bazaars, we go to art events. I mean, if you're part of the Smart Trips family out there, we often will pack a bus with 40 or 50 people and head on down. And yet, with some of the events, there's an admission fee, and I think that this has remained free.
yes.
And some of the events, they're scattered in a million different locations, or there's so much to go through that it's almost overwhelming. And yet, this is a one-stop shop, and you go in, and so that's really served a unique niche for us, because I can go with a group of seniors, I can go with a group of kids and families, and they're not committing $20 to even decide whether they like anything or can afford anything. They could just go and have a fun time at the bazaar.
Totally. That's it exactly. I think you've really hit the nail on the head. We're largely driven by accessibility. So we want to be in an accessible location. We have a ramp so that you can roll up to our building. We keep the aisles wide so that you can easily get through. We have a lot of affordable items. We believe that you should be able to give a Christmas gift for $5 that was made by a person in your town. And we also believe that you shouldn't have to pay to shop at our show, that it can just be a fun experience to come, and you don't have to buy anything. You can just walk around and find the thing that you think is hilarious or beautiful, and enjoy that. And so we really do believe in accessibility. We believe in that on the customer side and also on the artist side. We don't ask our artists to pay an exorbitant booth fee. They obviously it costs money to run our show, and they pay a percentage of their sales, and that allows us to take risks and have new things and have things that we don't know if it's going to sell well or not, but we like it. And we want to see fresh and new. And so that is an accessibility point for us also from the artist perspective. Like we try to have new people coming in as much as we can.
It really is one of my favorite stops of the holiday season. And I have to say, on the personal side, I've gotten to this point where the whole shopping thing is overwhelming. And so it's easier for me in some ways to just bake for 2 or 3 days and send somebody some tin that I got in the thrift store, and just I spend 2 days thinking about you. Here's your banana bread and 3 different kinds of cookie. I'm done. And we've moved into this kind of Amazon world where every item you're going to get for somebody is on a list, and you know what specific thing and widget you need to get for them. And I think the simple pleasure of going to Blue Genie is having no preconceived notion of what you're looking for, and just stumbling through, and you see something that reminds you of somebody, and that's the thing you take away. And so, I myself have actually gone through that, those dedication candles, and you see one, and it's an inside joke, and you weren't expecting it, and just those simple pleasures of art or jewelry or just some special trinket that is really meaningful in a way that, shopping down the toys gift list is not really going to lead to as meaningful a gift in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of people experience that. And the other side of that is when you shop with us, you're supporting a person that made this thing, and that person is in our community, and that is so meaningful. It's not just like throwing your money into this abstract sort of like pot where you don't know where it goes. Your money is going back into our community, and it's going back into the grocery stores and the clothing stores and art supplies and everything else. And I think that feels really important to us, and I believe it feels important to our customers as well.
So Dana, well, for those who are just joining us, we are speaking with Dana Younger from Blue Genie Art Bazaar, and this year is a special year. So, normally you would just kind of roll in, shop around, and then sometimes the vendor isn't even in the stall. You just pick something up and then pay for it at the register. I'm wondering how you've changed this year to accommodate those not only who are looking for a touchless experience in person, but perhaps people who are not comfortable venturing to an art bazaar in person. How has the bazaar changed this year to meet the sign of the times?
Yeah, I like how you described this year as special. It's when things are challenging, my team and I, we like to rise to the occasion. We see that as an opportunity, and what can we do different, and make this better. And so we've tried really hard in that way. We did have to make some concessions that were not what we really wanted. We have less artists than we normally do. We normally have over 200. This year we have just over 100, like 125 artists. It's still a lot of artists, but it's allowed us to have more space inside. So we've tried to accommodate the people that want to come to the show. We've done what we can to make it more spacious and safer. If people love what we do and want to shop local, we have come up with a variety of ways they can support these artists without actually coming to the show. The first thing is we have a website. We really scrambled and put it together, and there's hundreds of cool items on the website, and you can shop those items and they'll get shipped to you, or you can come and pick them up at the store.
Can you tell folks what that website is? And I think thanks, Mia. Mia can get website up on the screen.
Yeah, for sure. You can always go to bluegenieartbazaar.com, and that's really the hub where you can find out about the in-person show, or follow the link there to shop online. And we're always adding new things. So the website is a fun new adventure for us that 2020, because it's special, brought around for us. And then the other thing we're doing is we're doing a personal shopping. Where if you know that Uncle Bob really likes food and you want to spend $50 on Uncle Bob, you can call up our personal shopping genie, and she will ask you some questions, and she'll come up with some options for you and say well, based on what you told me about your Uncle Bob and what you want to spend, here are 2 or 3 options of packages that you might be interested in.
Oh my gosh, that's so much easier. I mean, yeah. I always have choice overload. I always wind up with 20 things, and I'm trying to whittle it down. It's nice to have somebody say, from these 3 things, which one do you want?
Just pick, and then you can come and pick it up, or we'll ship it to you. Yeah. And then the other thing we're doing, and this is a really adventurous adaptation to this year.
This is a little crazy town, Dana. I have to say, this is a little art theater project in the middle of your holiday bazaar.
Totally.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, what if we can push people around the show on Zoom and show them things, and they can shop. And our intrepid staff and everybody was like, okay, we could probably do that. And so we built this. We call it Roz. It's Roz, the robot of Zoom shopping. And it's just a rolling computer station with a monitor and a camera and a light and a shopping basket zip tied to it. And so our first adventure in this, where there was these 2 friends, one is in Austin and one is in Manhattan, and they love to shop together and have for years and years, but they couldn't travel. And so they shopped the Blue Genie Art Bazaar together. And we rolled them around, and they had a grand time and found things that they fell in love with. And so it's totally entertaining. And I really love this thing that happens when the chips are down and it's hard. And that's when you go, you know what, let's just do something different.
I love how you're ostensibly hosting an art show, but really you're also hosting a tech incubator. Now you have robotic shopping. I don't know that you're going to be able to get rid of this afterwards, because that is too cool.
I hope
for
it. I
sure.
hope it blossoms. I'd really love to be able to drive it around with a joystick, but right now it's actually just kind of wheeling it around. But it is fun, and it's different, and that's what keeps us engaged and entertained.
Well, we've been going to the Blue Genie Art Bazaar for years, and part of the reason why, your location is up by the Highland Mall, and there's also a brewery next door, so it makes for a great day out with friends or family or kids as well. And also, it's one of the few holiday options that is located really conveniently next to rail. And while we host bike rides and walking events and bus transit adventures, people always ask, how can I do a train trip? And the great thing about Blue Genie is that it has all of the above. Denson is a great bike boulevard. Even Airport Boulevard has a protected bike lane. You can see here on screen, this is the last time we went to Blue Genie, and we took the train to go there as part of the hop. So that's a red line, but also the buses. Route 7 is every 15 minutes and runs through Hyde Park and then down Riverside. There's also the bus line on Airport, which is every 30. And then the crosstown route, the 337, for those in Colony Park or even Allendale, that has a direct connection. And, I mention this because, a lot of times people think about taking more active modes to and from work, which is like the most boring way to try something new versus going somewhere fun. But in this case, you've got a little lot, and yeah, people come and park, but you might have to park far enough away that it makes you wonder if it wouldn't have been worth it to come by some other mode. So this is why you're always on our list. We'll be going onesie twosie. People can certainly go on the bus at this point, but usually we have 20 to 30 people who want to go with us on this trip, so we can't host that this year, and we're looking forward to it. But hopefully, I think you were saying that some of that information is now on your website on how to get there, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, we've always put it on the back of our postcard when we put out those postcards, and we really want people to think about other ways to get to us. We have a bike rack, and we are steps from the rail stop, and we're in a very accessible location, and we feel fortunate that we've been able to be in this spot, and we hope people really do take advantage of it. And yeah, our parking lot is not that big.
Well, again, I want to say thanks for taking the time to talk with us, and hopefully we'll get to celebrate in person in the coming year. But Dana Younger, thank you for telling us more about Blue Genie Art Bazaar. And Mia, who's in the box off screen somewhere, if you could put the website back up, that would be great for people who maybe you haven't heard of the Blue Genie Art Bazaar before. Perhaps you're struggling with, like, what am I supposed to get? That random aunt who I don't really know that well, or some kid in my life, and I just don't want to go to Amazon or Target this year. You can always take a look at what's available at bluegenieartbazaar.shop. You can also set up a time to go there, or just drop in. And then if you're feeling lucky, you could have a robotic shop for you at this year's bazaar. So thanks again, Dana, for dropping in. And I hope that we get to spend next holiday season together, if not sooner.
I look forward to that. Thanks very much, Lonnie.